Good evening, everyone. Welcome our respected guest speaker, Dr. Dammika Senarathne, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, Professor P.M.B. Jayadilaka, Head of the Department of Accountancy and Finance, Mrs. R.M.N.C. Swarnapali, and our course lecturer, P.D.N.K. Palihena, and all the respected participants to the highly anticipated session titled Invest for Success, Mastering of the Art of Investment. We are thrilled to have you join us today for an empowering journey into the world of strategic investments. I am Yashoda Bandara, your host for this session, and I want to express my gratitude for your presence here today. Our distinguished guests, it's our privilege to introduce our esteemed guest speaker for today's session, Mr. Dammika Senarathne. Mr. Senarathne is a certified investment advisor with extensive experience in the Colombo Stock Exchange. He holds a doctorate in business administration and an MBA specialized in business administration. Additionally, he is a holder of Bachelor of Science in Business Management from the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. Mr. Senarathne currently serves as the manager of Capital Trust Holding Private Limited, Kurunegala branch, where he oversees a diverse portfolio of more than 4,000 clients, including both corporate and individual clients. With nearly 16 years of managerial and teaching training experience, Mr. Senarathne brings a wealth of knowledge to our session today. His expertise spans various domains, including strategic planning, human resource management, business development, entrepreneurship, accounting, strategic marketing management, and customer service. He is a proud member of Institution of Professional Financial Managers in the United Kingdom and holds senior lecturer positions at prestigious institutions such as the ICBT campus, American College of Higher Education, Technical College of Kurunegala, and other government and private institutions offering degree and higher national diploma programs. Once again, I welcome you, sir, for today's discussion. So without taking more time, let's hand over the session to Mr. Senarathne.
Good afternoon. Okay, it is my pleasure to do a presentations on behalf of that university and to my to the students of the University of Rajarata. Since that I'm also from the University of Rajarata because I got my management degree from the University of Rajarata. Then I think that's my starting point of that business world, right? Business environment. Then I continue to that complete other academic qualifications too. Today, I hope to that cover three aspects basically, because we know that as an investor, basically we should have some idea. We should have some awareness of the basic of economics matters. It means that when we are living in a society, in the economy, basically we need to have an idea about the overall economy, right? Therefore, I hope to continue the sessions, especially focusing three aspects. The first one is the economic update, right? And the second one is that the fundamental analysis of that share and how to analyze values of securities, especially shares. Then how to use technical analysis, right? Altogether, I think we have nice sessions, right, including that economics aspects, fundamental analysis, and technical analysis. In addition to that, as I was informed by that Sir Palihena, hope to that discuss some very important topics regarding a certain assignment, right? And finally, an assignment will be given to you, right? Then hope to cover all these aspects. Now we can start. Right. The first goal should be that the techniques, right, or the knowledge we should gather, right, to be an wise investor, right. Therefore, that especially we know that now actively we are living in a modern and developed world, right? Therefore, that technology is very much important to us because as well we know that we have more powerful device with each and everyone. That is the mobile phone, right? Your smartphone might be the most powerful device we can use in modern world, right? Therefore, by using this mobile phone or your mobile device, you can easily access to any source. Especially you can access to the financial world. You can open an account. You can transfer money from your bank account to another bank account. You can transfer money to another account. Likewise, I think your mobile phone might be the most powerful device in these days, right? Therefore, that after 1918, right, all that the people, right, are called the millennials. Especially the we should focus on that millennials because their attitudes and their thinking patterns are totally different than the people uh, about that 1980, right? Okay. Then first of all, I would like to that have a brief introduction of the current market situations. Then we can discuss about the current economic situation, right? Okay. Now you can see here, I have shared some information regarding the stock market performance during the last week. You can see here, wholesale price index during last week, it was around 11,633, right? And during that particular week, there was a development of 2.84, right? S&P 20 index, it was at 3.4, 3,411, and the development is 4.07, right? Especially that we need to focus this matter because currently we are living in this status, right? Then market P, I'll explain that all these indicators properly. Market fee, now market price earning ratio, now it is at 5.92, right? 5.9 nearly. Okay, I'll explain later how to calculate these P ratios of respective counters with particular formulas, right? Then market price to book value is 1.09 because those are the basics matters we should understand as investors, as students of management, since we should be very much familiar with all these information, since uh, sometimes you might be new to the stock market and financial market. Total turnover for the last week, that was around 17.6 billion. That's a huge amount actually compared with that during last week, last year. Actually, there's a big development in that in investment side in market. Especially, we can observe some foreign investment. Significant foreign participation can be seen in the market. Okay, foreign purchase in for the year 3.06 billion, right? Because foreign sales 839 compared to the sales side. Normally, we can observe the big net inflow from foreign side. Therefore, that is also a very important indicator in current market scenario, right? Then here I have mentioned here, you can see the treasury bill rates. Treasury bill rates, the change. Actually, that recently uh, we have observed that significant drop in interest rate, bank interest rate, especially fixed deposits and deposit rates has been declined in a significant way, but still the lending rate should be declined further, right? Then especially the treasury bill rates, we can see that there are three types of treasury bill. 91 days treasury bill, the last trading price was the rate 19%, 19.9. Then 3-month treasury bill 17.57. That's the rates, treasury bill rates normally occurred for that treasury bills. For the 1-year treasury bill, the rate was 14.16. Okay. Then actually that rate was at a higher prices before 6 month time period ago. That was a higher prices, more than 26% like that. So treasury bond also uh, issued by the central bank at 32%. Now there's some certain decline in trend in treasury bill and also in interest rate. That's the current economic indicators, especially now when we are focusing about the current stock market situation and the current interest rate and treasury bill rates behavior. Especially here, you can see some very important aspect here. I have mentioned that with each and every year, the market PE, market price earning ratio, right? And in 2017, it was 10.6, the market PE, price earning ratio. In 2018, 9.6, and 2019, that was 10.8, and 2020, that was 11.2. And especially 2021, it was 13.7, right? Because when we consider the market PE, market price earning ratio, normally it should be around 10 or above, right? Actually, now I saw you that current market price earning ratio is at 5.92, right? 5.92, that is around this level. Actually, it should move because we now seen the bankrupt of the country, right? As a default country, now actually now we are becoming, we are recovering our economic activities. Therefore, we can see some further improvement in the economy. Then, with that, all these we can expect the market may move to another 2,000, 3,000 point. It means that during this year, my prediction is that market should touch at least 14,000 level by end of December, right? Therefore, there is a room for that development. Now, currently 5.62, that's the market price earning ratio. It should be should improve further up to a 9, at least up to 9%, surpassing that, also index to 30,500 or to 14,000. That is my prediction. Okay. Now, actually, we should have an idea about the current economic situations, right? We know that during that COVID pandemic and thereafter, there was a severe, economic down turn in Sri Lankan economy, right? At a certain point, we can remember we didn't have even dollars even to import fuel vessels, right? Fuel tanks. Normally to import at least at a certain point we didn't have that enough dollars to import 1 year import requirements, right? We were in that level, but actually from that level we have there's certain reserves, all these economics activities, especially the macro factors in the economy, should be properly focused before analyzing or before investing in the stock market, because all the businesses, right, will be affected with some decisions by the government and the economics activities, right? In addition to that, we observe that tourism, there's a big development, there's a significant improvement in tourism industry, right? And during last month, so far that from this year up to the last month, from our workers working in other countries, there was a significant improvement in that side too, right? Therefore, when we analyze the economy properly without any political bias or any other things, but we need to compare with that this situation before before 2 years, right? Now, actually, we can say that we have in a certain stable level, still recovering side can be expected in our economy, right? Okay. In addition to that, we have observed that there's significant improvement, right, in dollar inflows to government securities, But you can see here the total dollar inflow to the government security, especially for treasury bill and bonds. It is around 189 billion, right? That is in rupees value. That is also a significant improvement because during last week also we observed that big improvement, foreign inflows to the stock market. That's also a very important aspect we can observe because before 3 years ago we couldn't see this kind of improvement from foreign investors. Therefore, there's some certain interest from foreign investors that continuously investing in stock market and government securities, right? Because foreigners, they are properly analyzed. Foreigners, they are properly analyzing all these matters. Foreigners, they properly analyze economic factors and other macro factors before they are putting their money in securities. Therefore, when we see this kind of improvement from foreign investors, it's also a significant achievement of the economy. Right. This is also very much important. This is the predictions of the country inflations. This is done by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, right? We know that I think there's a very famous topic before 6 months time period, right? We know that is called that Hank's inflation dashboard. I think I can remember, and often we heard news, right, regarding that we are in the Hank inflation dashboard. We are in within 2-3 levels, right? Because we were in with Venezuela, Argentina, right? Our inflation was around 69 at that moment, right? We were the third place, right, in Hank's inflation's dashboard. Actually, with that proper management of the economy and proper management of the financial system of this by the central bank, last month, the end of the July, the country inflation was around it came to 6.3 level. That's a drastic decline. We can see in the inflation rate of the country. It was actually, this is the predictions by the central bank. It's a prediction by central bank. In July, after July, it was a 6.3, but we hope that in September it might come to 3.5 level, right? And rest of month will be in the same level. That's a prediction by the central bank, right? Therefore, that's also a significant achievement by the country, because our country's inflation was around 50%, 52%, right? And then came to 30%, and there was a drastic decline in the inflation rate of the country, right? Therefore, these are the economic indicators, indicators we should focus before we invest in a certain security or certain investment opportunity, right? Therefore, that further this inflation might come down, and some economic experts suggest that there might be some deflation. The inflation might be around 0 or near 1%, right, within next 2-3 months. There is also a certain improvement. Okay, now we can move to the next slide. Okay, this is the latest update on treasury rates, right? Latest updates on treasury rates. During last week, the 3-month treasury rate, that is 19.90%. There's a certain decline. There's a decline compared to the previous week. Okay. Then we hope that gradually this treasury rate may come down further. Okay, we can see here that in below graphs the treasury rates movements, 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month treasury rates and their movements, right? It was around 29.6%, right, on 26 October 2022. Now it has come down by a significant percentage. Further, we hope that treasury rate may come down further. And especially in this month, there might be another rate cut, right? Central bank may announce another basis point of interest rate reductions, right? Then the central bank hopes that expand that private sector credit expansions is the expectation, especially to improve the economic activities and improve the money circulation in the economy, there should be a certain level of interest rate, because money should be that come to the private sector entrepreneurs from the banking system, right? Therefore, this matter is very much important. I think further interest rate reduction can be expected in the next 2-3 months, and that's also another boost to the economic activities and to the stock market. Okay. During last month, total tourist arrivals was 143,039. That was another remarkable achievement milestone in tourism industry. Right. Then this is a summary of the basic economic activities, especially that tourist arrivals, worker remittance, right, etc. Especially, as I previously explained, that we can see further development in this side, worker remittances and tourist earnings can further increase, and it will may give a further energy to the economy to the next level. Okay, that is about that our economy. Then we can move to the next topic. I think you can share. You can see what I have shared. Okay. As investors, basically, we should focus the ways of identifying value stocks, value securities, and value counters. That is why we need to focus about the basic of fundamental analysis. I hope to briefly explain the basic principles and concept of calculating different ratios we can often use in stock valuations. Right, especially in fundamental analysis, we hope to that identify the real value of a certain security or the share. Right, how we can identify the real value of a certain share, because we know that when you purchase certain object or certain product, we need to identify the value of that, right? Its real value, and there's a certain mental value, right? Then at a certain point, we hope to that purchase that product, because of that our mental value is, our satisfaction is more than that its real price. Therefore, in the stock market valuations, there are two concepts. One is the fundamental. There are two concepts. Number one is the relative valuation. Second one is the there are two type of valuation. Number relative valuations, and other thing is that absolute valuations. There are two type of valuation we can see in fundamental analysis. Especially, we know that when we see financial statement of a certain company, especially the cash flow statement and balance sheet, right? Based on that financial statements, it means that during a certain financial year, the financial outcomes of the company should be properly analyzed, and based on that release informations, we can have certain calculations. In that we can use different ratios like price earning ratio, price to book value, and based on that information, we can decide whether that company is valued or not. That is called relative valuations, right? There are two concepts in fundamental analysis. Number one is the relative valuation. Second one is the absolute valuation. Especially absolute valuation is measured, right, based on that income flows, cash inflows, right, or a certain time period, right? Depending on that, cash inflows and outflows, we can predict something. That is called that absolute valuation. Therefore, we can see two valuation method in fundamental analysis. Now, today I hope to discuss about that some certain ratios, right? Calculated, we can calculate by using relative valuation method. Okay. especially when there's certain share, right? And we need to have an idea about the real value of that certain counter or the security, because we need to put some money to purchase that particular stocks, right? Then basically we need to have certain calculations, right? Therefore, we use the 6 ratios in that fundamental analysis, right? 6 ratios. One is the earning per share, EPS, that is called earning per share. Second one is price earning ratios. I will explain briefly one by one. Net asset per share, price to book value per share, dividend yield, and return on equity. Those are the basic ratios we should concentrate on, especially in valuing that, fundamental valuing stocks, right? We can discuss further one by one. Number one is the earning per share, right? Earning per share. That's very simple. The formula is here. We can get the total income or the total profit of a certain company, and we have to reduce. We have to reduce that, the dividend we should pay for that preferred shares. Then we can divide the balance from the by number of shares by the company. That is the earning per share, right? For an example, I have put an example here. Company A, the profit of the company for certain time periods, right? That was 10 million. The number of shares issued by the company, 2 million. Now we can easily calculate, this is the formula. Total income of the company can be divided by number of shares issued by the company. Then we can get the EPS. That is 5 rupees for the company A and 12 rupees for the company B. In company B, total earnings 6 million. Number of shares issued by the company 500,000. Then we can easily get that the figure by dividing that 6 million by 500,000. Then the amount is 12. That is the EPS of the company, right? Therefore, when we can see that this much, the higher EPS of a certain company, we can recommend that company as a good buy, because when they earn more per share, it means that it can pay more dividends, right? It can retain more profits for the company for the development. Therefore, earning per share is very much important ratio when valuing a certain security or the counter, right? Okay. Here you can see some examples for earning per share, EPS, right? Those are some examples. LOLC, EPS of the company 32 rupees and 10 cents. Sampath Bank 32 per share. Hatton National 31 per share. Then latest information, I hope that show you latest information in next presentation, right? Then we can see this much, that higher EPS, it means that we can select this kind of shares, right, as good buy. Okay, now we can move to the next calculations, that is called price earning ratio, PER, price earning ratio. In that the previous calculation, we only considered that the earning of the company and number of shares sold by the company. Now here, there should be a certain, valuation method, right, to identify and match this earning per share with the current market price of the certain company, right? Then it can be easily calculated as follows. The price earning ratio, how we can calculate market price of a certain company can be divided by EPS, right? Now we know how to calculate EPS. For the previous example, we calculate the EPS of the company as rupees 5, right? Then there should be a certain method to match this EPS with its current market price. Therefore, the price earning ratio is used to identify the certain, the valuations, right? As a combined valuations, market price and the EPS. right? Then market price of the company A is 20, then the EPS of the company 5. Then we can easily take that the EPS price earning ratio, right? Then 20 can be divided by 5, right? Then price earning ratio now 4 times, right? That is the price earning ratio. In the company B, market price is 84 and the company EPS 12. Then the price earning ratio is 7 times, right? Therefore, that especially when we see lower price earning ratio, that company is more attractive, right? Price earning ratio more attractive. As I previously explained that current market price earning ratio is just around 6%, right? Then I say that the current market price earning ratio is very discounted because its value is very low. Therefore, that when we consider certain companies' price earning ratio, when it is low, it means that company is suitable for your investment decisions, right? You can purchase that share because its pricing ratio is very low, right? Now we can move to the this table. This table indicates the price earning ratio of certain counters, selected counters. Brown Investment 1.1, 1.41, Brown and Company 2.13, right? Then we need to concentrate on the price earning ratio and we can select lower price earning ratios. And we can select these company as good investment opportunities. PR from 2009 to date. I explained that during the first explanations, market price price earning ratio is just around 6, right? In 2010, it was 32, right? That's price earning ratio 32. Now, actually, now we are still at a discounted level. Total market PR at 6. Okay. Next ratio, that is called net asset value per share. Net asset value per share, right? How we can calculate net asset value per share, right? So far we have discussed 2 ratios. Number one is that earning per share. Second one is the price earning ratio, PER. Now the third ratio, that is called net asset value per share, right? How we can calculate net asset value per share? Basically, it can be easily calculated. How we can calculate? We can take the total asset of the company and we can reduce the total liabilities of the company. Then the total net asset can be divided by the number of shares issued by the company. Then we can easily get the net asset value of the share. Right? For an example here, it's also a hypothetical example. Total asset of the company A, then you can 100 million, then total liability 50 million. Then we can reduce the 50 million from that 100 million. Then the total net asset 50 million. Number of shares issued by the company 2 million. Then we can get the net asset value per share by using this formula. We can divide the total asset by number of shares issued by the company. Then 25 rupees per share. That's the net asset value per share. In company B, we can calculate the net asset value per share. Total asset 180 million, then total liability 152 million, total net asset 28 million. Then we can divide that 28 million by 500,000 shares. Then the net asset value of the company B is rupees 56. Especially net asset value is if the net asset value is high, it means that we can compare that net asset value with the market price, right? For an example, the net asset value of the Sampath Bank is around 110, right? Now it is trading at 78, right? Then we can compare the net asset value and the current market price, right? For an example, another example, John Keel's JKH net asset value is 235. Now it is trading at 200. Right now we can see that John Keys and the Sampath, both shares are undervalued because those companies are trading below its assets, their assets values. Right? I think you can understand what I said about that net asset value and net asset value calculations. If the share is trading below net asset value, the share is considered undervalued shares, right? As an example, Sampath Bank asset value 110, now it is trading at 77, right? This is still undervalued, right? It's an undervalued share, right? If a share is trading above that net asset value, that is called that overvalued share, right? If a certain count is trading at the same price, right, at a net asset value, that is called fairly valued counter, right? Therefore, this is the third ratio we can concentrate when analyzing, when identifying the value of a certain counter, right? Some examples. Those example actually the latest information I will show you, right? The Sampath Bank current net asset value to 210, right? Now the bigger these informations are taken from the previous before 2-3 years time period informations. I'll show that the latest information, right? Net ratio, that is called price to book value. Price to book value, right? Okay. How we can calculate the price to book value, right? Now we know how to calculate net asset value per share, right? We know the net value of the company can be divided by number of shares, then we can get the net asset value. Then we can compare the net asset value per share with the market price of the same counter, right? Now, how to calculate price to book value, PBV, price to book value. We can get the market price of that counter, then we can divide that market price by net asset value per share. For example, market price for the company A, 20 rupees. Now, net asset value per share, 25 rupees. Then net asset value 25, then 20 rupee can be divided by 25 rupees. That's the net asset value. Then the price to book value is 0.8. 0.8. In company B, market price 84 rupees and net asset value per share 56. Right? Then we can divide the market price by net asset value per share. The amount is 1.5. Right? So simply we can have an idea here. When the price to book value is equal 1, it means that its asset value and the market price is same, equal, right? When the price to book value is over 1, it means that the company is trading above the asset value, right? Above its asset value, right? Therefore, when we are selecting a certain organization, a counter in the stock market by using different ratios, right? We can use price to book value, and if it is below 1 and near 0, then that company is more attractive. You can select that company because its net asset value is less than its market price, right? If it is near 0 and less than 1, it is a discounted, undervalued share, right? So here I have mentioned here, if the price to book value equal 1, fairly valued, and if the price to book value less than 1, undervalued. If the price to book value over 1, it means that overvalued. I think by using these different ratios, right, we can have a clear idea about the value of certain counter of the share, right? We can move to the next, right? Price to book value, we can see in some organizations 0.28, 0.28, like that. Normally, if we can observe price to book value of certain organizations of a certain company, right, less than 1 and near 0, that company is more attractive, right? Then you can select that kind of company and you can add that company to your portfolio, right? Next ratio, that is called dividend yield. Dividend yield, right? How to calculate the dividend yield? We can get the annual dividend per share of a certain company, and we can divide by that amount by market price of the company, and we can multiply that by 100. Then as a percentage, we can get how much we can get as a dividend, as a percentage, how we can get from that company. By investing in that certain company, how much we can get as dividend, right? For example, company A, the dividend per share 2 rupees, market price 20. Then we can easily calculate the figure dividend is 10%, right? Company B, 11.9%, right? If a certain company offers or the pays a large or the some more dividend yield, right? That company is more suitable, right? Because we can get some information in our research division, so we can easily get that more high dividend paying company, and then we can select suitable companies among that high dividend paying companies, right? Therefore, if a certain companies pay more than 10%, right? Some companies pay more than 20%, 25%. There are some certain counters, they continuously pay a certain amount of dividends, right? They maintain that dividend yield for a certain time period. Therefore, we can select that kind of program. Especially, there are two type of investors. Some investors they can take risks. Some investors actually they can't take risks because with that respect to customers' age and their professions, and they can at a different stage of their ages they can take certain risks. It depends on that expectations and retirement plan like that. Okay, after retirement might be some people they can invest that money. Therefore, we need to that invest that money in low risk accounts, low risk shares. Therefore, high dividend companies are very much important for the calculating the real value of when identifying real value of a certain share. You can see here the dividend yield of some selected counters, right? Lubricant, Chevron lubricant 33, commercial bank 10%, overseas 10%. Likewise, we get some impacts, right? Therefore, if a certain companies pay high dividends yield, right, then you can enjoy that dividends after purchasing that share. But you have to keep that share for a certain time period. Okay, we can move to the next calculations. That is the return on equity, ROE. That's a very much familiar that words, return on the ROE, right? This is the calculations how we can calculate that ROE. It normally indicates how efficiently the company is handling the money that shareholder have contributed that's just to make profit. How to calculate that return on equity? Net income of the company can be divided by the average shareholders equity and multiplied by 100, right? If a certain company is having a high return on equity, that company is more suitable, right? Then we can select that kind of counter, and you can purchase and add to your portfolio. High return on equity counters are very much important, because it means that the company is earning more income to the company, right, by using that shareholders funds and company assets, right? That's also the efficiency calculation method, return on equity. There are some examples. Lubricant company, Chevron lubricant 48%. The Brown Industry LLC, likewise, we can get some information, right? And when we select a certain counter, right, we can see their ROE, and if that counter is having high return on equity, we can purchase that share. Right? Therefore, so far we have discussed that 6 main ratios, right? Then you can apply these ratios to certain counters, then you can compare, right? Sometimes you can't depend only with the one ratio, but at least you have to take 2-3 ratios, and you can compare with other companies, and then you can easily select more suitable companies, right? Those are the fundamental ratios we should understand in fundamental analysis, right? In addition to that, we need to focus external factors, right? External factors. Actually, we can concentrate these external factors as macroeconomic factors, right? As I previously explained, that we need to focus on the interest rate of the country, right? Trend of the interest rate. Now we have observed that there's a declining trend in interest rate and also in inflation rate, right? And exchange rate of the country. That's also another indicator we should focus, right? Especially we know that there are some import oriented organization, because they import some products and uh, produce some items, right? They can re-export, right? In addition, there are some companies like plantations, they export their products. Therefore, exchange rate of the country is very much important, right? Therefore, when we pay more, right, rupees for the dollar, right, that is good for that export companies, so for plantation and dollar earning compounders, right? Therefore, we need to concentrate these macroeconomic factors too, right? Now, actually, the interest rate is declining, and further interest rate decline can be expected even in this month, right? Significant basis point might be, right, reduced by the central bank. Then the inflations also, as I previously explained now, during last month came to 6.3, and from next month it might be around 3.5 as we predict, right? We can see some significant improvement in that two side, interest rate and inflations. Normally, the central bank is concentrated on the inflation. Then, by predicting and based on that inflation rate and their movements, the central bank can decide the interest rate of the economy. They may reduce the interest rate, right, further, and it will may give some energy to the economy and into the entrepreneurs of the country. Then we need to focus on the government policies and tax policies and other government policies, right? Therefore, sometimes government can impose some taxes on some commodities, some import taxes, right? So levies can be imposed, right? Therefore, with each and every that laws and taxes, right, we need to focus how that each and every company, right, is liable for their taxes and other policies of the government. In addition to that, we need to focus on the industry trends. Now we can see some improvement in tourism industry, as I explained that the tourist arrivals of the country is now actually at a remarkable level. Further, we can expect, right, very soon it may reach to 1 million tourist arrival, right? Then the industry trends can be properly analyzed. Therefore, we can see that as an investor, we can select some hotel counters, hotel shares, because we can see certain development in the industry, right? That we can follow the trends, right? In some certain counter, like whatever the plant is LPTA, they normally produce palm oil. Therefore, there's a big demand for palm oil. Therefore, they normally earn more, right? Therefore, we can identify these trends, right? In addition to that, we need to focus world market trends, right? So what is happening in the other side of the world? Actually, we need to focus on that. But actually, the Russia-Ukraine war, right? And the interest rate of the America, Federal Reserve Bank, if the Federal Reserve Bank of the America increase the interest of the America, that it will affect on some financial markets, right? Therefore, that we need to focus these world trends and the country conditions and inflation, exchange rate, all these macro factors, right? Before take your investment decisions. These are the external factors we need to focus. These are the matters I explained previously: interest rates, exchange rate, right? raw materials will become more expensive for companies who are importing items, making their cost of sales to go up, leading to less earnings, especially when we see that appreciation in foreign currencies, dollars especially, right? Then we can focus the repercussions of that changes of the exchange rates, right? Then inflation of the country. I explained that we can further explain that decline in inflation rates. Next month also we can see some significant drop in inflations, right? That's also very much important for the country. Government laws and policies, the matters I discussed, the industry trends, global market, we discuss those matters. Right now, I'm going to discuss very important, topic here that is called that golden rules of share tradings, right? Golden rules of share trading. I'll explain briefly those things, and we can move to the next part of our sessions. That is on that technical, how to use technical analysis and how to identify suitable counters and how to predict the future price of a certain company, right? Based on that technical analysis informations, right? Now we can discuss about the golden rules of share trading, right? Number one, right? If you want to be a wise investor, right? First, you have to avoid the herd mentality. Herd mentality means what do you mean by herd mentality? Especially, we have to follow some people. We have to follow the tendency or the trends of the trends in the market, right? Therefore, if you are a wise investor, you have to avoid this herd mentality, right? Because it means that you can run without knowing where you have to go, right? For an example, you can see here there are some animals, right? They are running past, right? They are going, right? That is a crowd behavior. This is called the herd mentality, right? Actually without knowing, right, the destinations, right? You can't run with other people, right? Then finally, it might be a certain, disaster. Therefore, before purchasing a certain counter, you have to look the real value of that certain company. Net asset value, EPS, price earning ratio, price to book value, dividend yield, and return on equity, right? If you can satisfy with at least 4 ratios out of the 6 ratios, then you can decide independently without getting any advice from advice or any expert. You can decide yourself, right? How to select a certain good, how to select a good counter, right? Without actually that you have to avoid that herd mentality, because in the stock market we have experience. I have more than 16 years experience in the industry. I have heard there are some investors, they have burned their fingers because they don't know what they are doing, right? Because they purchase shares because other people are purchasing, right? Therefore, we have to avoid this herd mentality because we need to purchase value counters. Right? Therefore, that is why I told you that we have to use that ratios to identify the real value of that count. Next rule, golden rules of share trading. The second rule: take informed decisions, avoid buying on tips. Right? There's some people, some investors say there are certain WhatsApp groups, some social media. In social media, there might be different kind of rumors, right, spreading, and based on that rumors, if you purchase shares, actually it might be a big problem to you, right? Because your hard-earned money, you have to earn in a better way, right? Because first we have to save our capital, right? Therefore, that you have to take informed decisions, right? And you have to avoid buying on tips. The second rule of golden rules of share trading. Third one, invest in business you understand. That's also very much important, because when you're purchasing a share, then you have to have an idea about that particular company, right? The nature of the business and their products, their customers, their future prospect, future projects, any expansions activities of the company, right? And their foreign market, foreign customers, right? Therefore, we have to understand the nature of that business, right? Nature of that organizations, right? Then if you are to purchase some shares from Royal Serving, because we have to have an idea about their products, their normal customers, right? And last 2 years profits, and if the company have paid dividends and how much they have paid during last 2-3 years, right? Like us, we have to have an idea about that organization, right? Therefore, invest in business you understand, right? There might be some organization, some company, but actually you don't know that there might not be any that clear future for that organizations, right? Companies. Therefore, you have to avoid purchasing those counters, and you have to select the good counters based on your knowledge, based on that fundamental analysis informations. You can take good decisions. Next one, do not let emotion cloud your judgments. Right. That's the next rule, right? We need to follow, right? Do not let emotions cloud your judgment, especially that when there's a sharp decline in the market. For an example, during the yesterday there was an announcement and some articles was published on a certain newspaper. It said that there might be some certain tax right tax might be imposed on treasury treasury companies. Actually, there's no any source for that. I observed that is there any validity source? There was no any source for the information, but that's only a certain rumor. But I exactly knew that we need to purchase, because yesterday some investors sold that treasury counters, and luckily we collected that counters at a discounted at the bargaining prices. Right? Therefore, we have to be very much vigilant, and we must be very much careful, and we should be very aware of these matters, because we have to take the good decisions. Rational decisions should be taken, especially in investing. Right? Do not let emotion cloud your judgments. Right? Take rational decisions. You have to analyze. You should have your own analysis in stock market, and then we can take a sound and rational decisions. In addition to that, without putting all eggs into one basket, you can have a broad portfolio. It means that you can purchase some shares from banking industry like commercial bank, Sampath Bank, then finance companies like Alliance Finance, Valuable Finance. Then you can add some property companies like overseas realties, then plantation companies, hotel counters. Like us, we can have a broad portfolio, right, without depending on a single stocks. Right? In the stock market, we know that there are some trends, right? When banking shares are moving, right, for a certain time period, we can see that trends, right? We can see that trends in banking industry, some price improvement in banking industry, some putting involvement in banking shares. Then we can get a return from that industry, right? When there's a movement in the tourism industry, we can get that benefit if we have hotels in our portfolio. That is why I'm telling you that we should create a broad portfolio, right? Without keeping only one single stocks in your portfolio, right? But don't exceed more than 30%, right, of your portfolio with one single share, right? Normally, we advise to invest in that way, right? Because we need to avoid rubber risks. Next thing is that another rule, golden rules of the share trading, that is called invest your surplus funds only, right? Don't you know that in the stock market, in the financial market, there are certain risks. There are certain risks. That is because market risks. There might be some liquid risks in the market. If you want to that is for some shares, sometimes we can't find buyers because of the liquidity issues in the market. When there's a falling market, we can actually sell shares at our expected prices. right? Therefore, that we need to that invest surplus monies. We should not invest money that which we need immediately for our day-to-day consumptions and our personal matters. Right? Therefore, you have to invest your surplus funds in the market and other financial instruments. Okay. Next thing that you have to monitor your portfolio. You have to monitor that the incidents, monitor your economic activities in the country and other aspects in the world, right? Because normally with that the some events happening in other part of the world has an impact of our financial market. Therefore we need to constantly monitor our portfolio and adjust its compositions according to that trends and the changes in the environment, economic aspect of the world uh, matters. We need to that properly monitor our portfolio, and if we need to take decisions, we can sell some shares. And because if we hope that this share may further come down, we can take a risk and we can sell that, dispose the shares, keeping some losses. Right? We have to bear some, that something, and you can sell at loss, and you can invest that money, right, in another company which can cover your previous percent, which can get us reasonable return too, right? Likewise, we can take sound decisions, right? That is why I'm telling you that we have to be very much vigilant and we have to take rational decisions, right? Based on that, based on fundamental informations, right? You should have your should develop your rational analysis skills, right? Then you can be a wise investor. As I explained, be willing to sell your shares even at a loss. For example, I can give an example. If a certain company is trading at 60, right? If you know clearly that there's a trend of the counter because there's some issue in that industry, right? Then we can sell at 60, right? Later you can purchase at 40. Right? Therefore, that can be taken, right? Because the time value of money is very much important in investment, right? Time value of money is very much important in investment, right? Therefore, if we feel that that counter is not moving, right, and if we can invest that amount in another counter, we can take that distress. Therefore, that always we can't expect that when purchasing a certain counter, right, keeping that counter for certain time period, we can get the signal return. But we have to periodically adjust your portfolio, right? That adjustments should be made rationally, right? By analyzing all the aspect economics and other aspect of the company. Right. Now we can move to the next part of the presentation. Okay. Okay, I think you can see what I shared here. That's the trading, aided trading platforms, right? Right. Okay. So far, we have discussed how to that analyze, how to select a good counter, right, with the fundamental values, right. Then we discuss how we can analyze the economic factors, as well as the macroeconomic factors, and uh, do our own research, right? And when before investing our money in the capital market, right? Now I am going to that talk about the technical analysis aspect, right? How we can select counters based on technical analysis information, right? How we can select good counters based on technical analysis information, right? This is the today's market information. The today market also index that is close at 11,724, right? And today market up by 42 point. Then total turnover, we can see here total turnover 2.7 billion, right? Compared with yesterday, there's some certain decline in turnovers. Total number of shares traded 78 million number of shares traded today. Okay, then I like to explain how we can use technical analysis information here, right? How we can get that information. We can come to that. There's an issue with that, technical charts. Give me a few seconds because I want to log into the trading systems again. Give me a few seconds. Okay. Okay, now we can get some example. Wholesale price. Okay. This is the oil share price index and its price, its movements during last few years, right? Okay, and there are two methods of analyzing the stocks, right? First one is the fundamental, second one is technical analysis, right? By using technical analysis, we base on that previous price actions, previous price movement of a certain count of the index, and based on that previous price movement of particular count of the index, and based on that movements, we can predict the future. That is called the technical analysis, right? The fundamentally we can calculate, as I previously explained, net asset value, dividend per share, and return on equity, and other fundamentals values. And in addition to that, we can see the movements, price or the fluctuations of that prices of that count of the index. Then we can base on that moves up and down. We take our decisions. How we can take the decisions? Especially we know that the wholesale price index here we can see during the 2021 it moved to 13,500 level, 13,600 level. That's the peak of the market, right? That's all the all-time high level the OCR recorded in 2021. Thereafter, we can see some, decline, right? Drastic decline. We can see that because of that, pandemic and other economic matters of the country, there was a sharp decline in all-share price index, right? Then there are some improvements in the all-share price index. Now we can see here today we are at this level, right? We are at 11,679. That's the level now we are in, right? Now we are here. All-share price index. Now we are here, but we predict that according to that economic information and other positive aspect in the economy, and we hope that future economic prospect, based on future economic prospect, we hope that the all-share price index may move 14,000 level, 14,000 level, and by end of the year, we hope that it may touch all-time high, right? All-time high. This is the all-share price index of Colombo Stock Exchange, right? We can say draw some trend lines here, like this. Right? Likewise, we can draw this trend line. Therefore, that normally we can observe, right? It may move to 12,482 level, right? As a next resistance level. Resistance level. Next resistance level might be 2,490, which is around 12,500, right? Thereafter, next resistance level can be easily identified at this level, right? 12,960. Likewise, we can use different techniques and some indicators in analyzing a certain count of the index. That is, this is the all-share price index. We can see other examples also. For example, we can take Haley's company, right? This is the Haley's PLC. That's a big company, right? Managed by Dammika Senarathne, Haley's company. You can see here the price actions, price movement during last 1.5 year. Now Haley's at 86 rupees. Now it is at 86 rupees, right? Okay, and it moved to 94%, 94 rupees before come to that this level. But we hope that having a significant good asset level, which is around 114, it may move to 100 very soon, because We know that Haley's company has normally, when we observe that the financial statement of the Haley's company, we have seen that the financial cost has been improved by 400% of the Haley's company. Therefore, that declining interest rate, right, may give energy to that this kind of big organization, because it may reduce finance cost of that companies, right? Therefore, we hope that Haley's company price can improve from this level, right? Therefore, how we can predict the price of that Haley's company? We can simply have some indicators here. We can use RSI, Relative Strength Index, right? I'll explain how to use this RSI, Relative Strength Index. That is another technical indicator we can use to identify the relative value of that organization, relative value of a certain counter, whether it is expensive or cheap, right? Then we can see that price movement, right? You can see this price movement of that Haley's company. Then below you can see the RSI. There are two levels, 30 level and 70 level, right? Then you can see here at this top level, the price is just around 225. The RSI is reached to 87 level. RSI reached to 78. This is the highest price, right? We observed in the last 1.5 years. Right, price was around 125. Now, at that time period, RSI was 70. Especially that RSI is moving in between 30 and 70. Right? If a certain counter's RSI, right, move above that 70, and if we can see it's around 85, 90 level, the better we can sell that counter, right? Because in RSI, it indicates the relative that, expensive or the cheapness of the certain company. Right now, you can see here, we can observe this the decline trend. Now here the price was 63 rupees, right? Then you can see here market RSI of the Haley's company is below 30. I previously explained that RSI is of a certain company is moving in between 30 and 70 line, right? Then if a certain counter come to that level below the RSI 30, then it indicates as a good buy. As a good buy, right? You can see each time the RSI reaches below that 30 line. You can see here also it touches 30. If you have purchased that count at this level, it means you can see the price here 63. Then there was an improvement thereafter. Then the RSI moved to 67 thereafter. After that, it moved to 67, right? Then when we observe the RSI, right, we can easily identify entry point and exit point for for a, for a company, right? Here also we can see RSI at this level, right? Then in that peak level, RSI reached to that 86. Now RSI at 50. Now actually we can see that this level is much important, because we can combine the technical analysis information, price movement and price actions, and with the fundamental value of the company. The fundamentally Haley's company is more sound. And technically also it is not so expensive, therefore we can purchase at this level. Therefore, how we can predict the future price of that Haley's company? Then we can draw these trend lines, that we can see here, and we can draw a line, right? We can see here high, low level, right? Then we can draw this line. This is called the trend line. This is also can be considered as a resistance level, Badaki, resistance level, right? Then the level can be easily taken from here. if we can further come to this level, yes, the next resistance level can be taken as 98 rupees. Right? First resistance level I can draw as 95 rupees. Then second resistance level as 99, almost 100. Likewise, we can predict future prices. In addition to that, there are some certain indicators we can use along with that other indicators. Second, next one is that Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band. Right. This is also another good indicator we can use here. It's called Bollinger Band. Here, this is the moving average, right? This is called that upper band. This is called the lower band. This is upper band. This is the lower band. Especially that here, this Bollinger Band is calculated based on that standard deviations, right? This is +2 standard deviation. They are -2 standard deviation from that moving average. You can observe here every time when this candlesticks touches that lower band, right, lower band, then we can see this level as a good buying level. You can see here when that candlestick touches this lower band, yes, if we can purchase at each level, then we can purchase discount at a discounted prices, right? When it is that move above the that upper band, then we can take a decisions to sell that counter. Now we can see here it is near the moving average and it is near the lower band. Now we can see this level we can monitor 2-3 days, and this level might be very much buying level for the Helix company, because based on that technical indicators information and based on that other fundamental aspect, we can consider Helix as a good buy. Likewise, we can use different indicators in technical analysis to identify that previous price movements and predict the future prices of that counters, right? This is from the technical analysis indicator, because this chart is called the candlestick charts, right? Candlesticks. Right? This is the way of using that technical analysis basically, right? How to use RSI, relative strength index. In addition to that, we can use another indicator that is called MACD, right? MACD. MACD. Right? That also can be used in technical analysis, right? MACD. You can see here the signal lines, right? Each time we can see that the blue line, right, cross that red line and come down, right? Then when each time that the blue line touches that level and it moves below that red line, then we can sell at this point, right? Now each time that normally when the blue line cross that red line, and if we can purchase at this point, then we can have a short-term return from that counters. Likewise, we can here also we can see that when the blue line crosses that red line, then we can see some improvement in the share, right? Likewise, if we can purchase at this point, right, then we can exactly have a certain idea about the exit point and entry point. This can be considered entry point. We can purchase, right? Yeah, because this MACD line, right? Then it crosses that this red line, and move above the red line. Now we can see here, if it comes down here below the red line, then we can sell at this point. Likewise, different indicators are there in technical analysis. We can use these technical analysis properly. I hope to that share some presentations indicating all these technical analysis method and indicators with fundamental analysis informations, right? With your server, then you can get those informations, because based on that you can answer to your the questions might be in your assignment, right? Right. And in addition to that, we can use different counters. For example, we can see Sampath Bank here. Sampath Bank. You can see here the price movement of Sampath Bank, right? Actually, this was around 28, 30, 28, 28 level, right? Before 6 months ago it was around 30 level, 32 level, right? Now it is around 70, 79 range, right? The market price is 79, right? Then we can imagine if we have purchased that share at 37 level or 30, then you can think about the profit you can get, right? Because we have to purchase the correct price, right? Then if a counter is a value counter based on our ratio analysis, and by using the technical analysis, it is at a this much of discounted price, then we can take a sound decisions. That is why we need to that combine that fundamental ratio and that value, that information, and technical information. Technical means that price movement, then we can easily identify the points. So at a lower level, if we can purchase a good valuable counter, then it might be the good decisions as a wise investor. We can see another company too. Think about CIC. Okay, now CIC Holding. You can see the price movement of CIC. These are the price actions of the CIC company. Okay. Now it is 75 rupees. Yesterday it was around 70, 71 rupees. Now there's some improvement today by 5 rupees. And in history, near history, we can see, right, the price action, it was at 94, right? Based on this price movement, we can say that the price, the CSE price might move to 85 level. So these resistance levels can be easily touched, right? Initially, this level can be easily touched, right? Then next resistance level can be this much. Right? If the trend continues, it may move to 90, 95 level. But here we need to concentrate on even the volumes of that such counter. Then we can apply other indicator like RSI, those indicator, other that important indicators can be applied. In RSI now 61, below 70. It means that there's no any harm of purchasing this counter below 70, right? In history, it has the RSI was at 89, right? Now there's an upward trend in RSI. We can purchase this counter. Likewise, we can select stock based on that technical analysis. And in addition to that, I hope to that share latest fundamental value analysis research issued by our company. Okay. Okay. This is the latest our research on all counters listed in Colombo Stock Exchange, right? Including all ratios we discussed right previously in fundamental analysis. You can look here. Mainly the main banks of in the main banks in the country, right? Listed banks, commercial bank, DFCC, HMB likewise. Then we can take the one, right? Commercial bank. You can see here commercial bank. The all information available, right? Market price on August, right? 4th, 101 rupees and 25 cents. Number of shared issues 1.2 billion, right? Those are the informations we normally release, right, for our customers, right? You can see here the net earnings 23 billions and EPS. We know that how to calculate the EPS. The EPS of the commercial bank 18 rupees and 13 cents, right? 18 rupees and 13 cents per share. Therefore, this information are very much important. Then how to select a good counter? Then based on that ratios, you can get these ratios from research section of any broking house. Then you can see here price earning ratio. Now here 5.59, right? 5.59, right? That's also very attractive. Then dividend yield 4%, right? Price to book value per share. It means the net asset value of commercial bank is 156 rupees and 18 cents. That's the real value of the company. You know how to calculate the net asset value per share, right? Then total asset minus liabilities, then number of shares divided by number of shares. Then the real value of that commercial bank is rupees 156. Now it is trading around, today it is around 103, right? Now actually it is undervalued counter because it book value is 156, net asset value 156, trading at 103. Then price to book value is 0.65. Can you remember? I told you that I told you that if a certain counter's price to book value is 1, it means that its asset value and market price is equal. If the price to book value is less than 1 and near 0, that is so attractive. Then you can see here commercial bank net price to book value 0.65. It is an attractive count. It still has an attractive counter, discounted counter. Then those discounted counter can be purchased, right? Then return on equity 7.97. Then we can move to the next bank, DFCC Bank. Right, number of shares issued by the company DFCC 422 million. Net earnings 2.9 billion. EPS we can get 6.95 earning per share. Then the next ratio, price earning ratio, right here 12.24. So that's actually that's an expensive when comparing that with commercial bank. 12.24 mean that it's an expensive actually. But asset value is 144. Asset value is 144. Price to book value 0.59. Then actually that's why I told you that when getting these ratios, at least 2-3 ratios can be considered, right? There might be some expensive signal from some ratios, but if we take 2-3 ratios and if we can satisfy with the 2-3 ratios, then we can consider it as a good buy, right? At least there are 6 ratios. At least 3-4 ratios are suitable as we predict. Then we can consider as a good buy. Normally, the asset value of the 44, then we can consider as a good buy. HMB Bank, it net asset value is 341. That's the book value. Then we can see the dividend yield 2.4, to the price and ratio 7.34, right? Price to book value of 59. Then it can be considered as a good buy. Like that, normally, based on that ratios we have discussed in that other today's presentations, we can use this ratio to count and move to that finance companies. For example, here we can get that yes, here Central Finance Company, that is yes, number of shares issued to 223 million, net income 7 billion, EPS 30 rupees. That's a high amount. Actually, that's a good big rupees and 80 cents. Like, while dividend yield is 4.24, net asset value 261. And actually, price to book value is 0.38. Actually, this is a discounted ratios. This can be considered as a discounted count, but then we can easily recommend this as a good buy. Okay, then we can move to the next section. There are some other company like property companies are there, right? Overseas realty company, that is a company that the World Trade Center and the House City projects belong to this company, Overseas Realty. Net asset value 43, dividend yield is 7.2827, price to book value 0.40, right? Return on equity 10.5%, right? Normally we can see the net earnings 6 billion. Okay, EPS for 4 rupees and 89 cents. Sector wise, then we can get that information and we can select, right? As I explained that when we prepare, when we make a portfolio, broad portfolio, we can select 2-3 from banks and 1 from finance companies, and 1 from plantation, then 1 from hotel. Like us, we can have a broad portfolio, right? Then we can manage this portfolio according to the changes of prices in the market. Okay, I think now we can, if you have any questions, so we can discuss these questions. Like, we have around 20 minutes. We can discuss. If we have any questions, we can discuss. I think you can mention questions in the chat box, I think. Then we can use that 20 minutes to discuss. If you have any issues, we can discuss those issues. So the problems related to that financial market economy. Okay, then basically I have discussed that that the areas we need to discuss today, right? We basically covered that the fundamental analysis aspect, with the six ratios and the golden rules of share tradings, right? Then we talk about the current economic situations and the trends in the Sri Lankan economy and what would happen to that inflation rate, interest rate of the country. And then we talk about the foreign investment and development in macro factors like we saw some improvement in tourism industry, tourist arrivals and tourist earnings, and improvement in remittance, right? Then we discuss about that technical analysis aspect, how we can use charts or price past price action of a certain counter to predict future price of the counter, and by using some indicators like RSI, MACD, Bollinger Band like this. Then if you have any questions, we can discuss further, and you can mention that questions in your chat box.
So good evening. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, I just want to know, are there any identified seasons? I mean, the particular reasons, particular seasons, according to your past experiences, sir?
Yes, especially that in Sri Lanka, like countries in Sri Lanka, we can see some trends. There are some decisions by government, especially some government has imposed some taxes, some super gain tax, or like some sudden decisions by the government, which may impact on some counters like banks and other counters. Then we can see some some drastic decline because of some situation cannot be predicted because of some uncertainty in some political side, right? Some uncertainty in the economic extreme. Then some situation cannot be actually predicted because although I have more than 16 years experience, some decisions taken by government, sudden decisions, right? So I can remember in this certain time period, the government impose a super gain tax on banks, right? Therefore, that banking counters drastically declines, and within 2-3 days, there was a significant drop in banking shares, creating more panic situation in the market. There was that kind of time period. In addition to that, uh, this situation is totally different. This current situation is totally different because our economy was bankrupt. We announced that country as a bankrupt country. Now we are in the recovering stage. Therefore, this situation is totally different. Right? Therefore, some positive aspect thing can be seen in the economy, and the more recoveries can be witnessed. Therefore, that this trend may continue further.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So, with the latest advancement of AI technology, most of the fields are running with this technology. Accordingly, is there any special usage of AI technology in selecting good shares to buy?
You mean that technological counters?
I mean, sir, AI technology.
Actually,
How
that
do you say AI technology to select good shares to buy?
okay, right. Actually, there's some significant development in that in the market, especially that recently the CAC has announced that some new tools, like they have introduced a certain app that is called CAC app, right? And now anyone can easily open an account by using your mobile. You can open an account within 10 minutes, right? In addition to that, you can apply for new shares, IPOs, by using your mobile, by using your CAC app. You can transfer money and you can attach that transfer, and you can fill that fill a simple that certain that documents. Then you can simply apply for that. In addition to that, you can use A-Trade and other trading platforms. By using your mobile, A-Trade and other trading platform, you can easily that buy and sell shares, and there are some certain of facility in your A-Trade facility, A-Trade mobile app. You can use simple charts, and all these things can be done by using your mobile devices. Now we are in that digitalization of CAC and digitalization of stock, that as a market. Then we can use this advanced technology and digital development for your investment and your development. This now we don't need to. There's no physical applications. You can use your mobile, and you can use digital digitalization of that CAC and digitalization of your investment, that this concept, and you can easily use and you can easily start your trading.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So one thing I should mention. Yes.
Yes, sure.
Okay, one thing I should mention here, actually, that now there's a trend, because now we need to have passive income sources, right? Especially then sometimes that people may work, right? Because there might be some certain permanent employment. But in addition to that, they can invest in Colombo Stock Exchange, and the investment sources, they can earn money. Sometimes they can earn more than what they can get from their employment, right? Therefore, now we can see this development in the developed countries. They do forex trading. They do that for that the other instruments, right? Investing the other instrument, like some digital currencies and stock market. Net. Actually, they earn money. Sometimes that amount from that other investment sources is greater than their the income they get from their permanent employment, right? There's that kind of trend. Even I can mention some example. There are some students, they normally earn more than 100,000 a month, right? Still they are going to school, but they're going to school, but they are doing their investments, right? About the 18 years old, they can start investment. There are that kind of trend, right, in young generation. But especially in the business management field, because I have been in 16 years in industry, because I'm handling more than 4,000 customers, including some. I'm the advisor for some leading banks in Sri Lanka, because dealing with that companies are very difficult. But we have to do some analysis, right? Because I have some experience, because the young generations, right, the young people, they can easily adjust with this new one, right? These new income sources, they can do it. They can earn more.
One question, sir. We have seen that within our this session, we saw that A-Trade app is mostly using for our transaction of the shares. So accordingly, are there any available software within our market we can use other than the air trade, as well as are there top rating that means kind of such kind of sometimes it may be in world context also there may be such kind of platforms. So what are those world applications, that means in the world context, what are the main top rating applications which we can visible?
Yeah, actually, in Columbus, Tokyo, there are basically two platforms. Now, one is that A-Trade, other one Direct FN. But many of that broking company, they use that A-Trade platform. It's very user-friendly platforms, right? It can be used in desktop and even in your mobile. There are mobile apps also. In addition to that, if you don't have an account, right, in the Columbus Stock Exchange, then you can easily analyze the company's information by using the investing.com site. It's very famous website, investing.com. In investing.com, you can analyze any share in the world, right? Whether it is in the Indian market or the UK, USA, you can analyze any count, and there are some certain fundamental recommendations too, right? Investing.com. Right? In Bloomberg, you can see some latest information related to the stock markets and other financial market. And I think if you don't have any that serious account or the online trading platform, you can easily use investing.com. Right? Investing.com, anyone can use that investing.com. You can analyze any counter in the world, even gold, even crude oil, and all other trading commodities counters can be easily analyzed and get some instant recommendation from that investing.com.
Thanks a lot for your clarification, sir. One other question from me, sir. We have heard that the big shots of the market, whether in Sri Lanka or else in the world also, they maybe have some kind of an impact, as well as they can manipulate some share market trends as well as the prices. So is there actually such kind of availability of such kind of big shots, or else is it a myth?
Yeah, actually, that manipulations is manipulations. That word is a normally common words in that investment, right? Right, manipulations, right? Especially everything depends on demand and supply sources, right? The price of a certain commodity or the share or the any goods, right, will be determined by that demand and supply sources. Demand and supply, that's the main uh, uh, the price determinants, right? Even in the stock market, when there's a big buyers, right, big buying for a certain counter, that might be the artificial law, but that the system doesn't understand that whether it is artificial or not. But when there's a big buying for a certain counter, big push for a certain counter, there might be some upward uh, trends in the market. Then when there's a more buyers, then investors may think that the shares to move, right? Therefore, there might be some price movements, right? It depends on demand and supply process, right? But actually, we know that there's a certain concept in financial management that is called as efficient market hypothesis. I think that you have heard that, right? But you have learned that efficient market hypothesis means that with the current market price, right, the entire information of the certain companies include with that current market prices, efficient market hypothesis. But actually, that there are that kind of concept, but actually that manipulations and some certain abnormal price movements can be seen in the market. For an example, it may be due to certain rumors. Actually, that there are, I think, more than 100 social media, like WhatsApp groups, right? Those who are investing in stock market, they have created some WhatsApp groups. By using this WhatsApp group, they are sharing some information, some rumors, right? Then based on that rumors, some people can make panic, right? They can take their investment decision based on the rumors. That is natural because we are using social media, Facebook and other WhatsApp groups. I'm also managing 4 main Facebook groups. You know that one group is for example, the total number of members of that group is more than 52,000. I'm the admin of that group because I only use that platforms, social media platforms to disseminate the information. In addition to using that, Industry Dr. Dammika YouTube channel, I'm doing only, I'm disseminating a fair information. Therefore, that the manipulations of that concept is a normal thing in the market. But as a wise investor, we need to focus that values of counters rather than depending on that, rumors. If we can focus that real value of the company, how to identify values of the company, and price action, price movement, based on that, we can take a sound decision. Because finally your money, my money, your money, then final decisions will be taken by you, right? Therefore, that decisions will be taken based on facts. Taking a decision based on facts is the thing, right? In investing in stock market.
One last question, sir. When we
Yes.
are dealing with the market, we have heard that we should have some kind of a good idea about what the world is going on and what are the updates of the world. So accordingly, for the share market, we can have some kind of websites or else some newspapers, articles maybe. Accordingly, what are your suggestions to follow up or else to read when we are investing in a market and to understand what are the trends of the market, such kind of things? How can we get that kind of knowledge?
Yeah, especially normally you can get information from a research division of each and every that stockbroking company, right? When there's a trend, because there are research arms in many research company. Like in our company, we have the sophisticated and very intelligent research analysts because recent trend, world trend, and all these trends are properly analyzed by this research analyst. Then we can get that research information, right? Research information. Recently, I have seen a research published by Softlogic stockbrokers on banking sector. Likewise, we can get that information from research division of broking companies, right? If you request, send an email to them, then normally your email address will be added to their database, and automatically you get that the information what they share. In addition to that, you can join with their WhatsApp groups, right? Then all latest information on shares and economy, this information will be sent to you. Now, actually, it is easy. Now there are so many access to that reliable information, but we have to believe that basically the informations, right? You should buy that reputed organizations, but if we can take it as a research, that is fine. Otherwise, depending on the rumors and other unofficial informations, but it will damage your investment decisions. Normally, Bloomberg, internationally, you can see that Bloomberg, that website, right, investing.com, in Sri Lanka, we often that see that Central Bank of Sri Lanka website. There are some recent latest articles and other release of Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Then based on that, we can take sound decisions rather than depending on rumors. You can get good information from a broking company, right? Like researchers can get that research information. Okay. I think if you have any issues, any questions? If we don't have, I think we can wind up the session. No?
In today's session, Mr. Senarathne will guide us through the proven strategies that enable individuals to maximize their returns and secure a more stable financial future through intelligent investment choices. His extensive experience and comprehensive knowledge in the field make him the perfect guide for anyone seeking to navigate the complexities of the investment landscape. As we embark on this enriching journey into the world of strategic investments, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Dammika Senarathne for gracing us with his presence and invaluable expertise. We are certain that his insights will leave an indelible mark on all of us and equip us with the knowledge to make wiser investment decisions. So thank you once again for being a part of this session. So let's delve into the art of investment together and set ourselves on the path to financial success. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thanks a lot, sir.